Is there a pen I could borrow? There's I don't have a pen and there's no pen on the table. Normally they have one over there. Thank you. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing? Good.
What do you need?
A pen. Yeah, I was just because they usually have one over there and I can't find one. I think I left mine at home. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So waiting for my pen.
Oh, got it. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Perfect. Yep. Sorry, guys. It's signing in.
license.
All the comments, please. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning again. Very good. Thank you. And welcome. You're new. Okay, got it. Hey, antics. Okay, great. Antics, good, good. Good morning, Faded. Faded Joe. Yeah, the new guy. What? He looks like David Miscott. Just a little bit. But so my I was gonna do these two meetings. It turns out that the first afternoon one, I thought it was here, but it's somewhere else. So I'm gonna leave after the first two this and city council. Get some stuff done. Getting a lot of stuff done.
Good morning.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a great idea, antics. I hope she comes. I'm not sure if on it. Hi, Commissioner. So got the new guy.
Multiple agenda competitions.
Yes, please.
And don't worry, antics. Oh,
Yes, please. On minutes, and I'd like next to be skipped this time, Friday.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'll put you down for 60 minutes for multiple agenda.
60 minutes, that's great.
oh, how we would love to have 60 minutes, right? And antics, I'll make sure at least I'm here in person. So if they skip you, I can say something. We had to go easy on him. He's the noob. I think Laura had an appointment, so I don't know if she's gonna be able to make it or if she's gonna call in or not be able to do either. I don't know. I better stay put. I can't do my pacing because for some reason my chair didn't charge. I don't know if I had one of my electric things went out, so I don't know if it just didn't charge or we didn't plug it in harder. I don't know. So I'm feeling nervous. Not too nervous. I got enough battery charge. I'll be okay, but I better not stop pacing. So I'm hoping they listen to us. Not too. They had to say no to some of these permits until they get everything in order. Dang, it's harder to sit here. I like to move around. Hey, Laura. Okay, awesome, Laura. Yeah, try to get them to say no to some of these, like, because I know they have, I don't know if YRB's in the in my chat, but I know they have a New Year's Eve permit requested, but I believe there's another Christmas one as well, like before Christmas. So I don't know if that's all the same or, but definitely the New Year's Eve one because the one at the test center is technically Department of Building Services. Oh, who's that? Oh, Commissioner Grant's getting hugs. That's sweet. He's so nice. But so yeah, so I am like they need to stop doing these permits. It's just how many times do you get to like I don't want to hear that they're a religion anymore. It doesn't matter. Like if they don't abide by the rules, then change your rules, like if your rules are that you know, you don't care, then A, you have to apply that to everyone, then drop the rules for everyone. Like anyone could do whatever they want. They can just, disregard all the rules and that's fine. It doesn't matter. But we know that's not happening. Like we know everyone else would be fined and feed and that's how they can make their money, like they could actually okay, okay, this is gonna be interesting.
Morning, Laura. Would you like to provide the commentary for this one?
Yes, please, general public comment.
And getting nervous. I'm too down.
Yes, general public comment.
Hey, Miriam.
This one. And
It's a no.
um,
Yeah, I'm excited. Peter, I'm glad. Thank you for calling in again. You did so great. It's awesome getting new voices and new perspectives. And then, it's gonna start probably winding down anyway, like either they're gonna speed up everything because Christmas is coming and get all the business done, or they're slowing down because they're already in Christmas mode. We'll have to see. But yeah, the photographer here today. Oh yeah, because there's gonna be a presentation. I wish they would keep that on Fridays. Hey Sue, thank you. So I like these two. I wish they'd be you know what we should do? Like I'm thinking that I might invite them. What Laura, what time is the vigil on Friday for Lisa McPherson? There's the president.
2 seconds.
Yes, thank you. Study committee survivors of the sign on group that home in today.
1 second, we haven't seconded yet.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah, they make it confusing. We had to figure out how to do that. I mean, he's new, but yeah, because I would have absolutely thought that they were taking public comment at that moment. That should be because it is 10 o'clock. But does anyone know what time the vigil at on L. Ron Hubbard's going to be for Lisa McPherson? The times?
And would you like to invite general public comment this morning?
Good morning, Ms. Mark Miguel, for the public comment and the board of comments.
Thank you.
TJ's here too. Well, must-
So then Ken, you are now for courtroom, we need to begin.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Mr. Rodriguez, please take roll and establish quorum.
Thank you, President Ken. Establish quorum. Public Works.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much. So before we begin with public comment, we have a special board presentation, but before that, I did want to make a short announcement that item number 4 related to 4875 West Ontario Way will be continued to a date uncertain. We're hoping to schedule it by the end of January of 2026. The applicant has asked for additional time. Also with the holiday schedule, we're trying to get that established. So I know there are folks that have joined us because of item number 4. So we will not be discussing item number 4 today. We'll be rescheduling that for sometime in January of 2026. And with that, we will go to our special presentation today. It is my actually on behalf of the Board of Public Works and all of us here. We want to recognize and uplift our General Manager and Director of the Bureau of Sanitation, Barbara Romero, who has been the city of Los Angeles for its last 13 years and 40 years at sanitation. And also, for those of you who are not familiar, also, once, part of this body of the commissioner of the Board of Public Works. I want to bring up, our esteemed colleague and Director Dr. Romero to the podium, and then any other speakers that wish to speak on behalf of the
Morning, John.
Good morning. Good morning and thank you for this recognition today. It's been an honor of a lifetime, to serve the city. There's, as I reflect back and is that, the people behind it. That in the worst of times is also has been the best of times because the city staff are so resilient and it's surprising we had their strength and commitment to serving the residents of Los Angeles. So those memories I will treasure and have redefined how I will how I pursue the next chapter of my life. Also looking at I came in here at the city thinking that I had already had 20 years of experience, from either working at the Corps, to working at the state, and I knew how the city ran. But geez, what a surprise it was. How many years? 30 years ago. You really get a sneak peek at and marvel at the complexity of our operations. And that's where I want to thank the frontline staff because no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what event is happening, our staff day in and day out are serving, are doing their work, are doing their jobs. And that disruption, whatever's happening, we can count on the city staff to deliver the services. Someone is out there picking up someone's trash, someone is out there doing an inspection, someone is out there, looking into our sewer system, maintaining our sewers, and more importantly, also answering staff, but being staff, but with the board and in the different roles that I played, the common theme has always been that, wherever I went across the country, to another, to a foreign country, that what we're doing here, as much as sometimes it feels entrenched that we're not doing enough, it's innovative across the sheer scale of the work we have to do despite limited budgets, despite our high vacancy rates. The work is getting done regardless. So I just say to everyone here, thank you, and those who are listening, who I know have texted me, and we've had a lot of people who are taking care of some very serious business today, so they couldn't be here. But I want to say thank you to them too, and for their service, and thank you for allowing me to serve as the head of the Bureau of Sanitation and Environment. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Barbara. Sorry to make you go first, but I wanted you to get your speech out of the way so that you can enjoy the rest of your recognition into the parade of folks that want to speak and uplift you this morning. So I want to invite members of the sanitation team to provide some brief remarks related to Barbara and her service with the city of Los Angeles. anyone who would like to speak? Yeah. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Isami, acting Hyperion 3.9. I met Barbara at Hyperion in July of 2021. Yeah, July 12. Yeah, it's yeah, 3 days related Friday. It was like the best time for Barbara to introduce Hyperion. It was like best. You probably know that the history of CNA personality like well. Then it was kind of COVID, people had to be quarantined and all that. A lot of purchasing was stopped. But somehow we had to navigate Hyperion out of it. So Barbara was captain of it. Uh, she learned and understood much better, and then she understood the so-called new owners for me, president listeners. And Korea is a 24/7 facility and not out. We had to somehow run Korea, get out of the all the challenges, you know, looking back, that's uh, 4.5 years. Without Barbara, I don't think we will be at this moment. I can see Hyperion is not perfect yet, but much improved. No violations the first time. I mean, in this year, for the first time since the incident, in like July of 2021 this year, Hyperion had the best ever quality, despite without devotion, meaningful spirit. When I say good education, you know, I, I don't think that we should, what? I give a full credit. Thank you, God.
Speaker from sanitation.
Thank you very much today, Spencer. My name is Nicole Bertson, Assistant Director for Sanitation, External Affairs and Special Projects. I've had the very good fortune to know Barbara Romero in the last 4 years, 4.5 years now. She brought me to the department, and it was one of the best things that ever happened for my career. For me personally, to feel supported by the mission of the department, but also to work with the leader. Somebody officiated over a phone culture change in the department, and that it was led from the bottom up. And really hear relationships that had been embattled previously with labor and some other organizations. Area on our campus are clean. You know, there were two great accidents over the last few years, one for sewer and one for trash and multifamily. Those are gonna drive hundreds of millions back to the general. These are huge legacy items, that are not gonna be forgotten, anytime soon. In addition, rolling out organic service to the entire city of Los Angeles, including an innovative organic AI chatbot with Professor Reed and Sorna Lab. So it's been a unique pleasure for me to serve Barbara Romero. I couldn't possibly summarize all of her accomplishments in the time allotted here, but thank you for letting me speak today.
I am from Malaysia, Jesse. And we another related and the and yesterday I was at a meeting. Yesterday, the whole day with the CEO agencies, but River. And I went to the meeting, I said, things going. No, no, no. Lot of people were came to the meeting. And they came up telling me, and my ear was very good for this. I know Barbara's 2015, she was sitting at the podium, there was a commission. And fantastic. I was having a lot of presentations about what I did. And the secretary director, I see a wonderful job, a lot of patience, always calm. And she has gone through tremendous responsibilities, pandemic us. And I have seen, I got jarred, and she has been pretty calm, no stress, and she fully supported us. We are really grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other sanitation?
Thank you so much. President King and Commissioner Fund. Tony Shelton with the Public Affairs Office, and I just want to thank Barbara so much for her leadership, for her collaboration, for putting together media responses with us all hours of the day and night, and holiday and Sunday. She was always there with a very strategic approach to getting those responses back to the media. And she has such a keen ability to bring in the community, and she knows how important community partnerships are. And that has been a critical part of the success of so many of the projects that we undertake. So I'm just so happy to be here and say these words and send you off, but also thank you for being a part of a legacy sanitation that is unmatched. And also, I want to thank her for a really wonderful promotion under her leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. Soraya Maka, CFO presentation. I want to thank Barbara for taking a leap of faith when she brought me in 3 years ago, and also submitting me to all the director. I'm going to go through the right actions for the last 3 years, but I'm going to go to different directions. When I first came in, I was very hesitant about taking on the challenge because of personal situations. And Barbara can relate. She's very empathetic, and she actually served as a role model. So for those of us who are single parents, especially single mothers, trying to advance their careers, she is excellent in respects, and aside from all her leadership, gift, which everybody else has already discussed. I just want to take the time to acknowledge that stepping into these roles as a single parent is absolutely difficult, and she has mastered it gracefully. So thank you for that.
Good morning, Tracy Menimidi, former Chief Operating Officer for Highland Sanitation and Environment. I just wanted to say, a very big thank you, Barbara, for all of the great years we had worked together. I felt so connected. I felt like we had such a great team under Barbara's leadership. And it was a good match. And I mentioned this previously in our last division meeting about how me being an engineer, I tend to be very black and white. I'm not very good at manipulating of the human. Really hard. Like then she has a very high emotional IQ. She can read her really well. She can understand people's perspective in an instant, and then really brings this enlightenment into how we should approach things, what the strategy should be. Something that I don't have that. And so I thought that those years working with Barbara was very good learning for me. She's a great mentor. She may not even, but all of us learned so much from her leadership. And I do want to say thank you very much for everything.
Good morning, commissioners. I personally want to thank Barbara for everything she's done for not just the bureau, but for the city as a whole. I had the opportunity to work with Barbara when she was in the mayor's office under all the sustainability plans and some of those far-reaching goals that you had. And Barbara made it possible. And
her guidance and leadership when it came to managing sanitation was exceptional. I'm a person that kind of has that 24-hour mindset. And Barb was the person that would respond to me at 1 a.m. with my fixed ideas that let's move forward with that. So she gave a level of dedication that's beyond what was expected. For the staff that she managed, they all appreciated her accessibility, her listening, her kindness, and her ability to say, let's do this together. She worked with, and I would just Latin also of the president of the union that represents managers and the assistant directors. She was there for everybody to make sure that the partnership with labor was strong, to make sure that we were all on the same page getting this stuff. And so thank you personally for all you've done for me and what a great job she did for the city.
Anybody else?
I thought he was waiting. Go ahead.
Just real quick, my name is Karen Honeypot. I'm the acting division manager, but I want to talk, you've heard a lot about the staff. I started as a lab tech in sanitation almost 18 years ago, and I've never had a director who I actually felt connected to and engaged and cares for all levels of the labor force, and someone who just rolls up their sleeve, dives in, and she's not only been a mentor for me, but I'm excited to take her legacy forward. So thank you, Barbara.
Good morning. I'm Alex Lu, Assistant General Manager for Albi Sanitation. I have the privilege of being in sanitation for 34 years. So I've seen a lot of changes, a lot of stuff like that. But one of the things that Barbara has is the character that she lets you try. And if you don't succeed, it's fine. And then she takes the blame for many of the things that maybe the staff thought was a great idea or something didn't happen. So she was never afraid of letting us try. And if we fail, it's fine. She holds it for us. So she takes a lot of stuff. But one thing that really I think people don't see in sanitation, see the glamour, the stuff, the opening, the grand openings, the pictures. Behind the scenes, there's 3,500 employees. And what yesterday really happened for sanitation was very tragic. And this morning, some of us went out there talking to the employees. And something that came up with several people, how Barbara was like the mother. And she was the one for all everybody in sanitation. So hopefully something really an open heart that made everybody feel that they are the one they can come to. And we can miss that of Barbara, but we know, she was so lucky people because, she is that person. We appreciate her of that. We love you and miss you and wish you the best of luck.
Hi, I know I'm not with sanitation, but I'm with the Board of Public Works, and I wanted to make a quick shout out to Barbara for everything she's done. Just everyone's said all her accomplishments, but one thing that hasn't been mentioned, I oversee our Clean LA programming. When that came about, Barbara was really the visionary behind that and broke through so many city barriers and hurdles to work with the personnel department and with the unions and with the Board of Public Works and with sanitation to create this pathway for people to get city jobs, because when she was even back with the mayor's office, I think they saw this need for jobs for folks in public work. So they created this vision to help clean the city and then also provide jobs to people who needed it most. And when I first started working with Barbara and working on this program, the one thing she always kept reiterating and saying that this program was not just changing these people's lives, but it was changing generations and continuing to change the generations of these families and people in this program. And we've been able to see that since we launched in 2021. And even I was recently at the new Young's Market, or the old Young's Market, the new LSD facility. And we saw people that graduated our Clean LA program that are now working there. And they are just overjoyed to have that opportunity. And that is really all because of Barbara's leadership, because of her vision. And got to work with her and learn from her and personally just to have a friend that Barbara. So thank you.
Thank you. Recognize our city's extended family. We have two former presidents of this body joining us in their current capacity. So I do want to first recognize Deputy Mayor Vicky Corson of Community Engagement, a former immediate past president of the Board of Public Works, to make brief remarks.
Thank you, President Kang, sorry. Oh, President Kang, are you okay if I turn this around and talk to one regular? So Barbara, I did not know this was happening until I walked by and I said, oh, it's Barbara's recognition, so I'm gonna wing it a little bit. So I joined the Board of Public Works in 2022. I was a former planning commissioner, just like Barbara was a former planning commissioner, then a public works commissioner. And I was telling Barbara how she is a role model to a lot of people who are coming up in the city. And she looked at me and jokingly said, well, maybe one day you're gonna be deputy mayor too. Thank you. So what we're kind of, I got to work with Barbara, having not worked with her before, just seeing her in action, but I'm not gonna talk about the technical things and the career parts, because I think folks from sanitation covered that well. I was just gonna speak more personally about your generosity with onboarding, knowledge sharing, even as the transition time came for, on the board, and me coming into the presidency, you were very kind in providing advice and guidance. You didn't have to, but you did, and you were a hot partner in helping us figure out what was the best way forward. And of course, I will never forget, as I was considering this opportunity to move over to the deputy mayor role in the mayor's office, it was actually Barbara I had a couple conversations with. One that went almost over an hour before I actually decided to say yes. And it was your kindness, right? Like, I think Potter said it best. It was not 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was after hours. You didn't have to put that much time into someone who was not coming in to be infrastructure deputy mayor or constituent services, but something different. And it just speaks to who you are as a person when it comes to the city family, and not only your generosity, but how much you respect and value city service and city employees, and how committed you are to not just our individual success, but the success of the entire city family. And that was really touching for me, how generous you were to provide advice, honest advice. Some I took, some I learned I should have taken. But I also wanted to share, because I know some of our infrastructure team is here, including Dion, who was an area rep too. One of the things that stood out for me is when I was still in Public Works and we invited the entire mayor's office of community engagement to come do a tour of the water plant, Hyperion. And I was surprised that you came to provide the tour. It was that important to you that you understood. It wasn't high level elected officials you give tours to, but you came, you joined us, you gave that advice, and I introduced you as someone who's just done so many great things, that you're such an inspiration and a role model for a lot of people. But the fact that you took the time out of your day to ensure the mayor's office area reps knew about Hyperion, knew about sanitation, knew about the importance of the services provided, to ensure that the mayor's office was fully equipped with the information to share. I was just like surprised and a little shocked. I was like, wow, our general manager is coming down here to do this presentation. And she went all out. That was just Barbara in a nutshell. She would always go to a level 11 if you, it would, even if you didn't ask her to, because she cared so much about what sanitation provided and what people took away from the experience of working with her and her team, and ensuring that everyone was in the best footing to be successful personally and professionally. So, Barbara, thank you for everything. Congratulations on a great tenure. Looking forward to see what you do next.
Mr. Kevin James, I want to invite you up to the podium.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. I mention this every time I come to this room, but I'd like to come often enough. Anymore than I wanted to just say again. It's always great to meet my favorite room in the entire city of Los Angeles. This room is an incredible place and does great work. And I want to thank Barbara Rivera for being such a large, significant, and important part of the history of this room and the work that happens in it. Not just as a member of the board or as a deputy mayor who oversaw our board of public works in this department, but also as the director of sanitation. Barbara and I met on July 30th, 2013. It's our very first day or our very first jobs in the city of Los Angeles as city employees. And I knew pretty soon that in Barbara I had a teacher. I needed, admittedly so, I needed a bit of a crash course in let's just say the environmental industry and with the environmentalism. And Professor O'Mara is a great person to give that crash course as public. Barbara was a barometer for me. She's someone that I could go in and just kind of run stuff off of. Like, am I going to go down the entirely wrong path here? Sometimes I was about to. But Barbara could see around the corners. She would tell me what I was about to run into. So I took a lot of her advice and was always glad I did. Barbara's an idea. She's somewhere you can go into her office, you can float your ideas over, as I just mentioned, but a lot of ideas came from the office that Barbara sat in, on her office at the end of the hallway. That's where a lot of our great ideas from the Board of Public Works during that entire, it was a 9.5 year tenure in that administration. And Barbara was involved in every day in one format or another. Barbara was a great partner. She was certainly a partner with the equal roles that we all share on the Board of Public Works. She was a great supervisor. She went from my colleague to being my supervisor as a deputy mayor, and that was before the pandemic. And it was such a great time then. You know, you can get a lot of work done by walking the halls. And there was always great interest in going into that office, that mayor's office, right across from the press street. You have to be careful of those reporters running around. They always trying to figure out what one thing was happening or wasn't about to happen. Barbara was an ambassador. She was a great ambassador for the city of Los Angeles. She was an ambassador to the city of Los Angeles for the environmental community. She was an ambassador for the Board of Public Works to the public, and a great ambassador for LA Sanitation and the environment. Barbara is a leader. Everyone knows that. I don't need to say anything about that, but I do want to thank Barbara also in closing for being just a great friend. Whether we would go and to the Rose Bowl and watch the Bruins together, we have a common reason to not be a big fan of USC, sorry, Purdue. Whether it was that or just being able to visit with Barbara and an awesome kid. It's been a great run, Barbara. It's been a great friendship. I know it's stay on. But I just wanted to come publicly say thank you. Thank you for everything you did in these 13 years that we've been public. I was me. I look forward to everyone you next. I'm sure it will benefit all of us, including the city of Los Angeles. So thank you, and thank you to the public who did
Deputy Director of Infrastructure, Representative Mayor Karen Bass, and you're agreeing to the podium
I
for
think he's
few.
the guy was very friendly with Scientology, I believe.
Me?
We need to look him up.
So I wasn't gonna say too much, because we got something for you next week, but I just looked like this is Katie's comments and several other people's comments, and they were talking about like I just see all the different. I'm like, I feel like we did some of our best work after hours, late night phone calls, 11 o'clock, whatever. But just the funny story that comes to mind. I spent earthquake and the words, but especially making you know that was like our number one focus to get it shit clean. So I would probably characterize my relationship with medication at a time restraint. With them both, and so I'm. I mean, I was just like, for the guy. You're really gonna like her. She's gonna be a great thing, she's a great partner for wait till she got, so I, when she's in that position, I guess. Okay. Wait till she got, then she got to relationship. And finally met, had a conversation, and immediately your approach was, what can I do to help? I'm here to be your partner, and over those months and certainly over the years, you were definitely able to break through that hard exterior that I often sometimes have to the soft inside. And not only I think really good colleague, but good friends as well too. I just wanted to share much power being working with you. You're also my sanitation guy. So when they were telling me something that I didn't know, I didn't know process or something, I could always go to you and say, okay, what is this? And how does it work together? So to the point about being a teacher, you were definitely very helpful to me in that way. So I know we're going to be continuing to work together just in some different capacities that come out. And we look forward to seeing what you're doing. It really truly has been a pleasure, Barbara, working with you. I do truly appreciate your partnership as the mayor's office, especially our construction team. You have been there every time that we have called upon you. So we really truly appreciate that, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Marco Perez from UCLA wanted to make a comment today.
Working out of the board. Thanks for allowing me to provide a few words, and really thank you, Kevin, for making that reference. UCLA, go Bruins. Good morning. Really my pleasure, and I'm here representing UCLA, Harvard's alma mater, and I'm specifically with the Office of Government and Community Relations. On behalf of UCLA and the entire Bruin community, I want to express heartfelt thanks to Barbara for all the work for 13 years of public service in Los Angeles and beyond. Your steadfast leadership helped the city advance wastewater recycling, secure critical infrastructure funding, and engage community input into critical environmental decisions. I must also mention that Barbara was highly instrumental with UCLA, helping us navigate several sanitation issues around campus. We didn't know who to turn to, and we turned to Barbara. She's very helpful. At UCLA, also Barbara served on multiple occasions for guest speaker at symposiums hosted by UCLA environmental environment and sustainability and the Department of Geography, to name a few. Additionally, during our first sustainable effort 2 years ago, Barbara provided key support and deployed 5 sanitation trucks along with drivers over to Utica period. That was extremely helpful. Students leave their jobs, putting out, but with her help, they're able to do that. We really thank you for everything you've done in your service to UCLA and to our city. And at the same time, we wish you the best in your next professional effort. As you take on your next endeavor, please consider UCLA as a resource and a committed community partner ready to help. So we look forward to working with you, Barbara. Please keep tight, and thank you for everything you go for us.
Thank you very much, and I now want to turn to my fellow commissioner, the board remarks, anyone want to give a thought? Commissioner McCarthy?
Thank you. Barbara, very short time to keep going, but everything today, it all points to who you are as a person. And thank you for your family for allowing you to work with the city. Cause I know anytime you do when you're working 24 hours a day, the family is suffering from that. So thank you to your family for allowing them to give us, give you to us. So on behalf of the board and myself, thank you very much for everything you've done for this city for the last 15 years.
As you choose to close this, I would say, remarkable chapter of your career. It's just a chapter. Back in the day, and then later you were deputy mayor. And when I had um, the luck to be able to join the board, I was so struck by your openness, and I've heard a lot of the staff today talk about this, your openness and your generosity of heart to share, to be willing to share your knowledge and your experience. And that is not something to take for granted because it is not a given these days. And I think that willingness to mentor and to support, when you look around here, and I see a majority of women leaders in the bureau, it is one of the many reasons why you are such an exceptional leader. So for all of those years that you've served the city with distinction, you didn't just manage a department. You gotta remember that. You reimagined what public service should be, not just in the way that they grew up in the city, but for the people that are coming up that you brought in. And I think that especially through the challenging times that we as a city have faced recently and the challenge that you came in, what do you call it, your baptism by fire or by water when you joined, that has a special significance that I think extends beyond just operationally the leader, and I think what is especially important is as a woman of color leading a department this size, and one of the most important departments in the city, you've broken barriers. And especially in a field that has been historically male dominated. So, they're very technical. It's a very technical field. And I think that, uh, in these fields, especially women have to fight a little bit harder to be heard, to be respected, to be elevated to leadership. And you didn't just succeed in this environment, you excelled in it. And you opened doors and you changed what's possible for the women coming up behind you. So that's the legacy that you leave. And I think it matters not just to the women that you work with, but all of the women that work not only in this field but in city government. There are young women joining the force, and they have you to look at as an example. Maybe they too can someday lead a 3,000 person $1 billion infrastructure department. Um, that is a big legacy to leave. So just remember that your presence matters. It continues to matter and matter, and your mentorship and your guidance to not just the women, but obviously the men who have worked day in and day out to make Spiro what it has become. You've shown them that leadership isn't just about fitting into existing molds, but it's about being your authentic self, bringing that every single day. And I think that is your strength, and that is how you've been successful in transforming what leadership looks like. So, you know, I really appreciate all the work that you've done. It was mentioned, you know, the labor relations, that was a big, big piece of it. And that will continue to pay dividends, far beyond today. And so I think that's really important how you navigated that, navigated the budget constraints that we're continuing to deal with. And, you know, now you can wake up in the morning and not worry about when it rains. So, Margaret, thank you so much for your service, for your vision, and for your unwavering commitment to the city, and for the example that you've set and you've passed, that you cleared for the rest of us. And thank you for your friendship and guidance. And I am you're really looking forward to celebrating your next chapter in your career. And I know I don't have to wish you success, because I know you will be tremendously successful. So, and we are all better off because of you, and I'm grateful to call you my friend.
Thank you very much. I'm not gonna talk about, you know, intelligence, leadership, everyone else has. For me, I just have the maximum respect. And that respect comes from something that emanates from you. Respect for everybody else. You were the first real man I met, so much everybody else. You ground me, respected my voice, respected my point. Made me feel comfortable and even take the position. And the respect that you have for this board. When others can't see beyond the end of the keyboard, you center the board of public works and its importance of being democratic, open, and a process that reviews all the work that everyone does. So similarly, all of us feel comfortable and stronger in this position. And then thirdly, with the respect that you have, is, and all this is being lived by others. For those who do the work, whether those be workers with contract or operating, or those, employees, that's reflected in your budget proposals. There's always been several paragraphs about more city workers and those with contract with, give one opportunity, if those who have been ones, employees, to respect their voice. And hear their voice, should their voice is robust and effective. Your first response when a number of issues came before was, oh my God, what did I just say? It's in this job, it's very difficult to sort of not get lost in the bureaucratic process. If I'm putting forward a task or proposal, if I'm gonna get that done. And I was like, you had no problems that stop. There's an issue with this with the workers, whether it's contracted out workers or city workers. Stop the process, slow it down, let's figure out to make sure they're not those voices, but fact. Their value, their work, their dignity is been respected. That has been for me a North Star. And a reassurance for the work that I do, and I just so much respect for that and how you've been able to hold on to that. Midst of everything else that we are constantly walking to face and deal with. I just want to say so much this gratitude and respect for the work you've done. Thank you.
But we know you such a short time, excuse my voice. But without you, it seems like a very long time. You had a very stellar career with the city. And even before you came, you had experience that laid the in terms of your work as a member of the board, as the deputy mayor of infrastructure, and certainly finally as a general manager. You've always been very frank and very open. You've always been respectful and respected. I'm looking at this room, never seen that many people in this room, except for when we met to do the extension of Bill Miller. And most of them I've seen, and they're your employees. The people that work under you. And sometimes we think, yeah, how do I feel about the head of my agency? And so that's very indicative of the respect that you give them, and that they feel you're going to be missed. But I know that the work that you have done is going to. And so we are all looking forward for your service. Thank you. So on behalf of this nation, people, so fellow commissioner of the Minnetonka Speakers State. Built to the capacity of our state. We would work with like the campaigns to form party, external partners like ACS, Stacy. I finished with the dates. This really exemplifies the 13 years of service that you've spent here with the city. And as many of we, of the commissioners have said, thinking, for me personally, I, appreciate Barbara always being on call, she's on vacation, late at night. We spoke several times late at night for an emergency happening, right before a big holiday too. And when a council member calls and we have to talk about the issues, you're always available. And I truly, truly appreciate that. And I think that is a big component of what a service should be. And thank you for always being available. So for the bill, we would like to present you with a special certificate. And for this photo, why don't we do it right here since you've been part of this body? So I want to bring you up, but then before, want to give you a final moment to speak. Any final thoughts before we take a brief recess?
You probably not calling.
The appreciation is kind of all you know, for this. Actually, part of the love of the city. And it just reminds me of that, something turning on me. Who I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna record these people. It's I came into, I kind of stumbled on this work and it's, because I was one of those kids who just wanted to meeting for money. And, hearing everybody, I'm like, who are they talking to? And I think that humility that I have never lost, the reminder of, where I came from, that I'm still that bright-eyed, girl that had the optimism of a city that can work for people, that works for people. And that has, been the only thing at the core of everything that I do. Just a reminder of why my parents came to this country and why, I do what I do, that I live by that. So, I just want to say thank you. And I know that I'm thinking about like identity in my family and especially my son who has now, understands that mommy has to always work. And yesterday when I picked him up from school and I picked him up on time, it was because I never pick him up on that because it's always an emergency. So I don't know what the future holds, but I know it is gonna, involve many of you in one capacity or another, because I know that for me, You know, and anything that I do, it's gonna include working with the city. I know that. So, I guess so next time, and, thank you to my son again for, sharing his time, with all of you and with all my work families, like I always say, we do spend more time with our work family a lot of times than our, you know, our work family, so, thanks again.
One here for your certificate, and then we'll take a brief 10-minute recess. The time now is at 10:56 a.m.
I'll go. I will wanna, yeah. Should I go over there? I missed it.
And after, you can go further with the back.
We hired you. You work for me.
We need her and permits. She sounds amazing, so can we bring her to figure out all the stuff that we come up with? Maybe she would have had a solution. I think I'm photobombed in all the photos.
Sanitation and MOI, if you want to join us in the back.
Peter, hey, Peter. Where you going, Peter? Pedro Thomas said you're thinking Pedro. Peter Thomas is a dick. Peter Thomas is a criminal. They're burning my ass. You're not shit. Look at this shit. I just made it. And Racha ain't where's your city hall? Smoking scans, tell the world. Armando Herman is smoking scans, kick ass. I talked to her this morning about that fuck America you're talking about.
Definite shout out to Smoking Scan. But if I go over there, I don't even know if they're, I don't know, because I don't want to miss any of the callers. They're probably finished.
What's up, Joe? Takes you a quick second.
Yeah, I guess I can if it's, yeah, let me check. I'll just see. Oh, yeah, right.
Stall them for 3 minutes.
Okay. I kind of want,
Now they're going outside. See?
But- yeah, but I want to keep, there's somebody I'm keeping an eye on. What do you know about Kevin James?
Kevin James is
And not the
quite
actor.
guy you think of. He may have been an informant for the FBI, but it's not clear.
Well, I thought, if I remember correctly,
'Cause he still
he was very kind of safe pointed by Scientology, I believe. But he's with the city attorneys now?
uh,
I could be thinking of someone else. I don't want to accuse him or say for sure. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But I remember his name coming up in CPRA requests.
he's not private. He likes the easy.
So he's private now or he's not?
He's not.
So,
He's,
but,
it's called stealing, corruption.
so what department does he work for?
Forget.
Because I remember his name coming up in CPRAs dealing with Scientology, though, like them reaching out to him or him defending them or something. I
Yeah,
remember seeing it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm curious. I want to keep an eye on him. I'll go check and see if, hey, Dusty, you are the sweetest boy.
They got a bird.
Oh, you should be. I know. It's like I got up too early too. Like I got up in here as if it was like the 9 o'clock meeting. Hello. Yeah, I'm just gonna see if they still have public comment over there. I probably missed it. So guys, we have to look up Kevin James. 'Cause like I said, I remember his name being on some CPRAs, and I was not impressed with what they were saying on them. But Barbara sounds hi. Barbara sounds amazing, like, we need her to help us figure out these issues. Hello. Oh, they're going outside. Sorry, Barbara, I was there, I photobombed, not intentionally, it just um,
Oh, it's.
I have a feeling it's too late for this, but it is what it is. I'm glad I got to see what he looks like, so Kevin James, I need to look into him a little bit more. They call me? Did they call me?
They just called you, I think, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So your time was expired, but can you remain over there while I want to ask you a question? Next speaker?
Hello? Hello? Testing, testing. Hi, how you
Hey.
doing? Jeff, testing. Can you hear me now?
And one with Virginia.
You got it. Okay, so I want to start off with, well, first of all, hello everyone, and thank you, Mr. McCosker. I see you're listening. I appreciate that. I want to talk about the street vacations. I'm going to say no, only because it seems like you're doing a lot of them, and if Scientology ever comes, because they said that they're going to put in for a street vacation of L. Ron Hubbard Way, I want you to say no because it's bad enough that you change the name to a felon and to somebody who destroys people and families and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason for there to be any street in the city named after somebody like L. Ron Hubbard. And so I don't want you getting in the habit of keep giving away or selling off our streets. And, although maybe the other people will take better care of it because you guys don't take good care of the streets. I'll leave it at that for that. The other thing I want to talk about is the convention center coming. The CAO told you not to do it, and why hire him? Or, like if you're not going to take his advice, he's basically saying like, don't do this. And I think he's right. You guys have a lot of infrastructure to take care of, right? Like, maybe we need to get the sidewalks straightened out. Because, if you're going to be inviting all these people to our city, you have to deal with all the different issues that, people might want to get around. They might want to be able to drive without potholes. They might want to be able to take a train that has elevators at work. There's two stops right now in a row right next to each other that with no elevator service. So it's just ridiculous. So instead of building like I know you want to build the future. What about building the Palisades, right? Like, I bet Smoke and Scan will agree with me that maybe you guys should rebuild what was burnt down. And it wasn't, and all these people suffering because they can't get their permits or anything, and they didn't burn down their houses. You guys created a situation that allowed the houses to burn, and to not help them is criminal, in my opinion. And so please help them rebuild. And after that, I'll just go on to my public comment. Okay, I'm tired of okay, he's not listening. Okay, I'm tired of the fact that Scientology is getting to do all these events without proper permits. From what I understand, their Winter Wonderland does not have any permits or inspections. If you can prove me wrong, please do. I'll be happy to say I stand corrected. They have on L. Ron Hubbard Way, 25-foot towers on the easement and lights going hooked up to houses and buildings, and it's a hot mess over there. Again, I don't see any permits. I don't see any inspections. I'm looking. If you can find it and I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But until then, why are you continuing to allow it? Would you allow you wouldn't even let, if I built a little thing to store on a property, a tiny little 5x5, and didn't have the right permit, you'd be knocking it down and you'd be fining me and all that stuff. But how come they can have these huge structures where children go because it's Santa, right? And if it's not inspected. So can you please look into it? Can you please stop allowing it? Thank you. That worked out good.
Good morning. Item would you like to speak to?
I gotta run back to Public Works and then I'll look for you. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got this one, I think. Whoa. Yeah, sure.
I'm a student at the El Camino College in Torrance, and I'm taking a class in journalism one.
Okay.
And one of my assignments is to cover a city council meeting.
Mhm.
And I'm supposed to talk to at least 3 people about what they've talked about. So can I talk to you for a second?
I would love to. I have to go to Public Works to finish because I stream and I need to do my public comments over there. Are you going to be here for a little bit? It shouldn't take too long.
I'm
Or-
gonna try to stay until about noon.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be done probably in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
'Cause I'll be.
Do you know where? Okay, you're gonna. I'll come back. Otherwise, I'll be right at Public Works.
Okay.
But I would love to.
Okay.
But I just have to get my comments over there.
Okay. What's your name?
Joe, but I go by Audit LA.
Audit
Audit LA.
Audit LA.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
Paul.
Paula,
So I'll be ready.
I will find you. Thank you. Are they speaking? Did they call me yet? Well, I have no regrets, so I'm glad I got to say all that. And as long as public comments is open, they have to take me. They can't kick me out. So. Okay, so they didn't. Okay, good. Whew. I mean, I'll be happy to help her with her assignment, but I don't want to miss this.
Opportunity for the public to address the board. Public interest items will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to 3 minutes, up to 10 minutes. And gentlemen, meeting. Testimony shall be limited to content subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. Board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. And as I mentioned earlier, item number 4, the meeting is on your way will be continued to a date uncertain in January of 2026. With that, we will begin with in-person, general public comment speakers on it alike.
Good morning. I just want to remind you, I believe I sent you all an email because I like to do that every now and then to keep you updated on what's going on. But on L. Ron Hubbard Way, there's like 25-foot towers on the public easement. And then there's like some kind of structure going across over the street, lit up. It's all for their Christmas, I guess, decorations. Plugs going in and out of all kinds of buildings. I honestly, like, if there is a permit or permission or they're allowed to do this, I need, like, tell me and I will shut up on the matter, on this fact. But if it's not, I'm asking you to please send inspectors. Please make sure it's safe. I am not, I'm against what Scientology is doing. I'm against a lot of what, but I'm not against the people. I'm actually an advocate, not only for the former Scientologists, but I care about the people in these buildings that are not getting the proper anything because of the leadership and everything that Scientology is doing. So these people need to be safe. Okay. They need open fire lanes. They need, like I am asking you to please follow up on, everything I presented with the most previous incidences that it's illegal. There's no way this stuff is legal. They're not only violating the law, they're violating your rules. And so why reward them? I'm begging you not to give them any more permits. I don't care if it's New Year's and we want to say, oh, they have a right to celebrate New Year's. Not if they don't abide by the law or the rules. Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Hunt. Ryan?
Mr. Herman, yeah.
Me, bro. Badass motherfucker. Nigga with attitude. One of you fucking nice building. 200 West First Street, motherfucker, in Providence. Until someone slips and falls, until some fucking bitch collapses there on a wheelchair or a cane or walking. What the fuck? It's an ADA issue. It's a liability. The city of Los Angeles versus Armando Herman, Barney versus Sacramento. Fuck you. Do your job, Mayor. Do your job. Department of Bureau of Street Services. All it takes is a 50-pound fucking bag of leather quick, 30-minute dry up and inspect. Cause that fucking building can't sell for shit. Fucking dirty neighbors.
And then we have Kyle Park.
Thank you. Gee, I did not condone any of the language.
I'm Carly Costa, member of the Orange or Hillside Alliance, and I am speaking as an individual. On this commission's need for improvement in the area of allowing appeals by developers to continue to postpone their hearing date multiple times because the developer is not ready with the materials that might make the project valid. The same developer has had a long history, according to city planning records, of non-compliance with the city requests, processes, and regulations. One to postpone it may raise the number, but for one postponement are mere damaging questioning commissioners.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, Ryan Foreman.
Well, thank you guys, for having me. Hopefully this will be an ongoing discussion. I'm super excited to be here. Pleasure being former, George Mason, University, student, all of them internationally. What I wanted to address, of the words about, one, has to do with Breathe LA, my the organization is defunct, and I believe that I can bring the attention to provide some vivification, some animation, some life. And I know that this isn't gonna happen in one bound, but Public Works to consider cooperating with Breathe LA in an effort to create a clean air purification active air defense system in one of the nation's most polluted cities, and to ensure that the loss of life in COVID-19 can never happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think that concludes. No further comment, the person.
All right, let's transition to our virtual platform.
Okay, guys, your turn.
Okay, we will start with Children's Voices Matter. You have 1 minute.
say that I sort of probably already say regarding to the I'm afraid it might be that today I want to already public. According to today, he said South Africa's five were from the Buga truck. It's 1933, if you rescind it, so Canal Rock way, built the child and adult way. Maybe that started with absolutely no minutes recorded in meetings. It feels as if you are taking our words away. Just as the children of Scientology and thank you. I love that one time.
T.E. McLean, you have 60 seconds.
Good morning, all. Well, another day, another public breaking the city rules and ordinances. There's no record died in the cave, so many of our taking infections for the big fraud and the winter wonderland in the Scientology parking lot on Baldwin Boulevard. Also, I would like to bring up the previous event that happened on Elmore Public Way recently, where the entire street was blocked by a stage. No fire lanes well, as blocking all access to public sidewalk using City of Los Angeles fully closure sign. In order to get the impression the city allowed the illegal blockades. This raises another issue. Perkins stated that these are charged at $35 a day. Scientology has been suggesting that there could be a fee for several years. Even at the minimum, that's findings of approximately $700 a day, equating to $255,500 a year. Scientology loses from keeping these in their possessions. Justice for the feds. I yield back my time.
And now we'll move over to Yvonne. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. On December 13th, Scientology will be having their Shriners event in the guise of a New Year's celebration where they will be shooting a film that will be processed and sent out to coerce their membership into making more and more donations. That permit is on file. They had used that permit last year by closing the street earlier than allowed and closed it to pedestrians, which was not part of the conditional use permit or the street services permit. The following dates, December 21st and December 1 through 5, our January 1 through 5 are also going to be events on LRH or at the 4810 Sunset Boulevard. Please deny those permits based on the fact that they have not.
And we'll move over to Georgina.
For Charles Manson, why do we have a street meeting after a cult? Even if you don't think it's a cult, even if you just think it's religion, why don't we have an exemption for that? What happened to separating of church and state? This is ridiculous that we have a street named after a cult leader. They stole that street. They're using the rights to the neighborhood of that street to be used. Separation of church and state. Separation of church and state. I yield back my time.
Great job, antics.
Thank you. And now we'll move over to Mr. Anderson. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. Citing LMC, section 4120, closure streets. The Board of Health shall establish a one-stop special events permit office and the Bureau of Street Services for the issuance of all special permits. States the director of the Bureau of Street Services has the authority to revoke a special events permit for any violation of the terms and conditions of the permit. What are those conditions of those terms violated? Does that include perhaps a Day Act violation, which I have witnessed at least 3 of these occurred when audit LA in your presence now. Violations when someone
Okay, California Code, 52.1 forbids people from interviewing in persons with constitutional rights like force what's written. In addition, a Latino woman was walking the sidewalk and was assaulted by the higher armed security from that organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving over to Laura and Ben.
Hi, good morning, board, Public Works, hi, President Kane, again, Mitchell, everybody, I know you know who I am now. I'm gonna keep reiterating this, please do something about Scientology's permits. When does it stop? When does somebody go, hey, they asked for the New Year's permit, hey, we're not letting you get it anymore, prove to us why we in the neighborhood are allowing this cult human slave organization to continue put on permits that allow slave labor, literally are run by Sea Org members who only make less than $47 a week. How is this legal? They are building stuff on the parking lots. How is that legal? How is it legal that they have these huge structures for Winter Wonderland with L. Ron Hubbard's coal name right below it? This is where families and everybody who have religious beliefs and are not manipulating the city have an issue with this. This is illegal. You guys are the front door. You're allowing this illegal human traffic behavior to happen because you allow the permits. Why give them any more time? Let them fun.
Fast. Over to Merchant. We have 1 minute.
Good morning. As you probably have figured out by now, Scientology is a multifaceted issue, and I also acknowledge that Board of Public Works has a very limited authority when it comes to supervising the cult's actions. However, I do think you should look into the structures that Board of LA, Alana, and numerous others have mentioned before, because everything has been set up and built by Scientology slave labor, the SPEAR organization members, the people who are not getting more than $40 a week and no days off during the year. They are not educated or equipped to do this kind of work. If the Scientology would actually hire a professional workforce that would actually create some tax income to the city as well. Something to be thought about instead of using their over 1,000 slave labor people in California. I don't know.
Moving on to Nora. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. I just want to drop a couple facts. Number one, Scientology does not celebrate any recognized holiday. Christmas does not exist in Scientology. In fact, L. Ron Hubbard told his adherents that he is Lucifer and that Jesus, who we are celebrating at Christmas, his birth, is a pedophile. And that is what the adherents of Scientology believe. Also, they believe that Jesus is fake and that we were implanted with that idea on the dark side of the moon and implant station before we were thrust back into a child body at birth. So, no permits for that should be granted. They should not be able to serve another celebration from a recognized religion to embark on further conning their indentured servants and their cult members. Secondly, the signs along L. Ron Hubbard Way were legally printed rather inside their organization with professional equipment. They are not used by this.
Nora. And we have 1 more. Henry, are you still in the room? If you are, I don't see your name on here, but if you're on the phone number, you could dial *9 to raise your hand, and then I'll unmute you. Okay, don't see it. Hands raised. That concludes our public comment on virtual platform. Thank you very much. With that, we will close general public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We'll begin with item.
Thank you again. I want to start off with the presentation. I want to congratulate Barbara. She sounds amazing. And the only thing I was thinking, basically hearing all the accolades is, wow, I wish we had her in Bureau Street Services and with the permits. And I have a feeling that we wouldn't even be at these meetings anymore. It'd probably be fixed, because I know it's not just the commission. I know I agree with Miriam, there's limitations, but but the people who are granting the permits, they have the power not to. I don't even know if you have the authority to tell them not to do it. I'm not sure. I'm still learning and looking into all this stuff. I do appreciate that you all listen, and I know you're hearing us, and there's been some leeway, but there really needs to be a grip on this. And that kind of leads me to the minutes. I know you're doing what's legally allowable, but I think that other departments kind of lead the way there in showing what should be done, even at minimum, even if you don't want to, have the name Scientology all over your minutes, I can understand that. But you can maybe just do briefly that, well, these are the things, like, well, there's towers that don't seem to be permitted, or, things that if you're, kind of want to I mean, not sneak, like slowly kind of get used to putting minutes about what the concerns are. And there's other concerns here that had nothing to do with Scientology, and they're not going to be reflected either. I think that it's failing the archives and the historical nature of it to not have it. The next thing I want to talk about is the neighborhood councils. Not only have I said I please encourage them to speak. Sometimes the meetings, like it comes up too quick, they can't really meet. But I also want to remind you that with your permit processes for all these permits, they are required to reach out to the neighborhood councils to let them know of every impending permit that's coming. But Scientology is they put in their permits lately last minute, and even prior to that, because I've checked, they do not notify. Neither does the Bureau of Street Services. I think it's actually the bureau who's supposed to be doing it. They are not, and I know East Hollywood neighborhood council has, when we told them about that, they did say what they didn't even know that they had that right, that it's supposed to be doing this. Neither did other councils I've asked. They don't know that you are required to do it. And so there's a huge disconnect. I will be forever an advocate of the neighborhood council system, as I have, sat on them. Of course, I had to leave because I'm being slandered and harassed by Scientology, and I don't want any councils to be harassed because I decide to stand up for victims. I mean, yeah, it'd be much easier for me to just shut up and go live my life, but I can't. I can't do that. Laura, Nora, the last speaker there, they're all my friends, and I can't turn a blind eye, and I refuse to. So if I have to be attacked and maligned, so be it. But thank you.
Mr. Herman?
Crazy ass motherfuckers, right? What? General manager is a cunt. And you know I see about the woman. You pay $300 trap. You know the pool of trap of water and run snake. Fucking snakes. What about this goddamn sneaky Hitler hunt? Fuck by single ladies. When you can't even fix a motherfucker.
Sorry.
Right.
Here. Right.
Fuck you. You hungry.
Here's a Zoom link, and you can go like, oh, do you just go wait to what you want to talk on this? Oh, just tell him you want to talk on multi. You want agendas, and here's the agenda. Okay, but you have to be on topic. You'll have to be on topic. But you can tell him you want.
Jackass, moron, he talked with it. That's not that nigga. Curtis.
Sorry.
Recording was. That something fuck Curry Price. He has 12 criminal indictments against him. He shouldn't be doing any business for the public. His wife stole housing from black people, brown people, and white people, and was fucking jacks. Then, on the other one, the secret director fucked Tracy Beach Park. And the other one regarding Jezebel, the CP14. Don't you fucking people get it? We brought the FBI to investigate Jose Luis Luciano. We think the FBI is doing more than tomorrow staff. The one that attacked that ice station. That's fucked up, right? You don't attack the federal government. You don't attack your local police. You protect America, motherfuckers. Donald Trump state Los Angeles wouldn't allow these fucking criminals, Scientology and Harvard to keep their fucking street. It's not theirs. It's mine. My fucking sidewalk, my fucking street. Right here, Dennis? I'm disabled. That's my fucking sidewalk, my fucking street. Right, John? I pay taxes, right, you too? I pay taxes. My fucking property. You get it, Danny? Chavez didn't give a fuck. I was scared about this. People doesn't get it. But someone did fucking chair. Fuck.
I would like to make a comment.
I was gonna ask you, I know you said yes, general public comment. Yes. This is for multiple. Yeah. And you have to speak directly to the items. Which items would you love to speak on?
Bike lanes, I don't,
There are no,
Yeah, that's a multiple.
Number one, public
On the place.
the number one.
zero 507
so you have 60 seconds.
Okay, it's gonna be quick, it's more of ways and means, but in regards to the construction of this bike lanes, what I really want the commission to take into consideration is the particularly of financing of these bike lanes. I really wanted to see a little bit more advocacy for an alternative schedule of financing, one that is not going to incur fiscal correction or constraint, where something that is a little bit more creative and sustainable, in all honesty, can be held, and I'll look at that.
Thank you very much.
And we are moving on to Georgina McPhee. Please identify which item you'd like to speak on.
I want to speak on minutes and agenda item number 1.
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, the minutes need to reflect these call-ins so that the violations of the permits get recorded and reported. We call in week after week recording these permit violations. They have a street named after a cult leader that they block off and deny access to public. It needs to be opened up for street parking. Bike lanes is onto agenda item number 1. Bike lanes should be on that street. It should be accessible at all times to the public, either as bike lanes, parking, the sidewalk needs to be opened. They keep violating these permits time and time again and do nothing because it's not reflected in the minutes. It needs to be opened up to the people. The fact that they're able to sign up for these permits last minute and pay just tiny little fee, which means nothing to them, is what is allowing them to get away with this. You need to close this loophole. You need to do better by the minutes and use grandkids and have it recorded. And Tori Nagu is trying to raise her hand and speak. Please call on her. Thank you. I yelled out my time.
Great job, antics.
President King, we have one more hand raised, please. Hi, Tori, would you like to speak on an agenda item? Tori, Kristen, would you unmute yourself and clarify if you'd like to speak on an agenda item? One more time, Tori. All right, since we're having technical difficulties, we'll move forward. Mr. Rodriguez, do you have any other virtual speakers? So, okay, one second. Go. Tori, can you identify what number you'd like to, what item you'd like to speak on?
I wanna talk on L1 Hubbard Way and about the permits. Okay, I was in Scientology for 30 years.
Speaker, general public comment has closed and we are doing specific multiple items. So you would need to identify which items you would like to speak on.
Okay, I was saying L1 Hubbard Way, cause I went down.
She doesn't understand.
She
She doesn't understand.
Move forward, please come back to us at our next meeting for general public comment. Mr. Rodriguez, do we have any other speakers?
Yes, we have Laura, would you identify what item you'd like to speak on?
Yes, the minutes and number one as well regarding the bike lanes and all that, but definitely the minutes is my main point, and I think you guys.
2 minutes.
Okay, so we need to have on the minutes in some way, shape or form, reflecting that people are calling in about the uses of Scientology terms. Tori Craven, she literally was in the organization for 30 or in Scientology running all this shit with the judges and everything 30 years ago plus. So I really wish you would have let her speak. Hopefully she can make it in person or on the phone to the next one. But to allow the minutes to reflect that we are trying so hard to prove to you guys that this is so insane and illegal what Scientology is doing with the permits. And that needs to reflect in the minutes. It needs to be something that Tori just tried to call in and speak about this. Everything needs to be shown at least one sentence. You know, Laura FM called in, wants revoked in a Scientology album cover permit. Make it happen. Otherwise, you, the board members, it feels like you aren't doing anything. And you have the power to do everything. So please reflect that in the minutes. Reflect that this is a huge situation that people have been talking about for the last year and a half. I will yield my time.
Great job, Barb. Hi, Aloha.
Thank you. Seeing no more hands raised, that includes a multiple item commentary, either on virtual platform.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiple item comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with you.
Have a good one. Bye. Good luck with it. Everyone did amazing. All right, there's a journalism student. I'm gonna try to find her. I'm gonna do a I might do a live later. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Okay, I was just gonna go find you.
They adjourned.
Oh, they did? Okay.
They're not over there anymore, but I just need to get.
Absolutely.
Because your items sounded very interesting. I know a little bit about Scientology. I mean, it's not church, but.
No, it's worse than that. It's human
What's it called?
trafficking,
It's a cult.
Yes, it is. It's a cult and it's a criminal enterprise, actually. It's more than a cult. It's an actual criminal enterprise. But the city, they have so much, their tentacles into the city.
You live in that area?
No, but I advocate for the people, for, like I have, friends and just I advocate for the people in the buildings
Yeah.
because they're kind of trapped in there. And then,
Let me,
sure, you want to sit here or do?
I just wanna make sure. Let's see. Yeah, 'cause I have to write this up, write this paper. So, may I record you?
Yes, I'm streaming too. Are you okay with that? I don't have to put it on you if you don't want to, like, be on there. But, I stream all the meetings. And then kind of,
Okay, I just wanted to, ask about it's just a voice recording, I'm not videotaping.
sure,
And you said you go by the name Audit.
Audit LA.
Okay,
Yes, that's my, advocacy name and my social media
okay.
for doing this.
All right. So, so we were talking about, the Scientology element way, they want to change the name of the street.
Well, they already changed it back in the 90s to L. Ron Hubbard Way. And so they believe that they own it, but they don't. It's not, there's no street vacation. It's a public street,
Right.
but they do not allow the public to just go through there. Even, commissioners and officers that said that they have gone and different people in the city, they've gone down to see what it's like and they get chased out by the security. And, and then they have events and they're not getting proper permitting. And then if they do get permits, they abuse every last permit for their events. And mind you, like when you're in the Sea Org is the special part of Scientology. These people sign a billion-year contract. They work 7 days a week. They get maybe a few hours off on one day if they're did really great for that week and nothing happened or and then, but the most they make is $47 a week for 110 hours, 7 days a week. And that's the most, okay? A lot, and now if you're in their prison program, because they have an internal prison program that, maybe you had a bad, on your e-meter, if it went crazy when they asked if you have any negative thoughts on Scientology, that could put you in their jail system called the RPF. And you may find yourself in there for years and because you need a partner there to help you get out. And so it's really the fact that this stuff is going on, in 2025 and everyone's scared because, oh, it's a religion. It's really not. And they what they did is they infiltrated the biggest infiltration of the US government and basically blackmailed the IRS and the leaders to give them this tax permit, had like over 2,000 lawsuits. So they basically strong armed the government into giving them this tax exempt status. And they got the biggest sweetheart deal ever that really technically, like with the level of what they got with their tax exempt status, you could almost say that they are our national religion because no other religion or any other church has their level of tax exempt status protections. And so we can't just revoke it easily. It needs to be revoked, but that's what they do. And they torture, like they go after, demean, they do everything they can to ruin anyone who stands up against them. So, like, I mean, I'm being targeted. A lot of people are. And I love that. See, that's one of my things. That quote I go by.
Admire.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay. So, okay, yeah, yeah, you said a couple of things and, so I just wanted to- yeah, you mentioned that you want to take their permits, no inspections.
Well, because they have if you go on Hollywood Boulevard, 67, was it 6427? I forget the address, but it's like McCadden and Hollywood Boulevard.
Mhm.
They have their big Winter Wonderland event. It's like they took over their property. They had their, people making $47, not professionals, building all these sets, very intricate sets. And you have children going in there, you have people, and they do it to lure you into, they want to try to get people going into their cult. They also want to look like they celebrate the neighborhood and they're good neighbors, but they're not. But if they're required to have permits. I can't find a permit for it. Because according to the city, they haven't had any building safety service permit since 2022. But they do this every year amongst and other things as well. They also know that means no inspections. So there's no one from the city checking to see whether or not these things are safe or, or anything. And that I have a problem with that is, I would have a problem if it was anyone doing that, beating the system like that. But I have a special problem is that it seems like the city just coddles or just ignores, turns their head, maybe because they're scared of them. They threaten, they're always saying, oh, we're a religion, you're being a bigot and all this stuff. But you have to, but the city's still required to do the right thing. Like with the Catholic Church, right? We couldn't look the other way when they were molesting children, right? I mean, just because they're really, you can't say, well, we're religion, you have to look the other way, right? And
Okay, well, I thank you so much for
sure,
your comments and allowing me to record you.
absolutely.
So, because I want to make sure I get your quotes correct when I turn in my assignment.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, and I want to pass this class.
I hope you do. Yes. I mean, yeah, and there's a lot of people that speak up regularly. Huh? Sorry.
They're cool. So you guys are
Yeah. So good luck with your assignment. Yeah, I hope you get like really good grades.
I do.
And then
My
excited.
name's Paula.
Paula, I'm Joe.
Okay,
But
nice talking to you.
nice talking to you too. And yeah, and then I do. It's Audit LA on YouTube. That's where I stream on there. So if you need to
I'll have to look up your stuff.
clip it, because I filmed in there for that too. Like so.
Yeah, I'll have to look up your stuff.
All right. Well, all right. Thank you. My everyone in my chat says good luck to you. My chat says good luck to you. She says thank you guys. Okay, guys. So, I can't believe I got that other meeting. I'm so excited that. Sorry. I'll, I'll squeak through. So, where are they going? Okay, guys. All right, the meetings are done. The 1 o'clock meeting's not here. I thought it was. So I'm gonna take off because I like the next ones are like at 2 and 3:30 or something like that. The housing committee. But I have so much I can do. And with my wrist injury, I am gonna just try to rest up my arm a bit. I have my have a good one. Okay. Sorry, I dropped my charger. I forgot it was trying to charge up. Yes, I need to charge my chair. That's the other thing. I know, a little discombobulated, but I'm glad I came today. Because not only did we do 2 meetings, we met a new person to have a good one. What- Oh, shoot, but I need, sorry. Look over here. Man, but I gotta see if the sergeant's here. I'm supposed to do the, what do you call it? Oh, man, we'll do it next week. Yeah. We'll do it next time. I'll tell Tori, thank you. I know, see if I was you have to like, I need to keep doing more explanation videos. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I might start doing a little bit more lives to kind of like really explain, because sometimes I forget, I'm so used to these things and it's like people call, but it's a lot to learn. It's a lot. And all the meetings are different. Like punk is even confusing for me. So I can't imagine everyone else is confused. So I am going to start, talking about it more so people will get more comfortable with it. And I'm so glad we had new people. And I know that's Antics, right? It's been advocating for that and I appreciate it. because I think it's good to get, I think it's good for the commission to hear different perspectives and more, because I hear all of us, we kind of